Okay. So I just want to say a personal hello face-to-face. The majority of this webinar is going to be slides presenting you with a lot of pictures and imagery because, of course, that's what branding is all about, right? So I really and truly appreciate your time today. This is going to be about an hour to an hour and a half. If you have to jump off, I understand. But there will be a replay that's available for 48 hours that I'll email out to you after this. So thanks again for your time. I'm Liz Smoke, your personal branding expert. I've spoken to so many of you personally and in my communities, so I'm really thrilled to be able to actually teach you this content straight away. So again, thanks for being here. You can grab a pen and a notebook, take some screenshots if you're on the phone and iPad, because there's a lot to do today. So let's get started. I am going to share my screen with you, so if you'll just bear with me one moment. It's going to look a little funky. Okay, I'm hoping everyone can see, and if somebody can confirm that you can see my slides, that would be very helpful, and also hear my voice. So you should be seeing a picture of me with the title of today's webinar on how to start your personal brand off right. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. All righty. So many of you that I've spoken to are in your own business, are launching your business brand new, and are looking for a way to brand yourselves, new ways to market yourself, and interesting ways to post on social media so that you can captivate your audience. So we're going to go through that today, how to start your personal brand off right and build a profitable business that lasts, because a large part of branding is the profit. So we don't want to forget that we're in this to make money. We don't want any money shame out there. We're in this to make a profit. So that's going to be today's perspective. All right, so let's get started. As you're talking about today's webinar online through social media, what have you, if you'll use the hashtag branding webinar, that helps me find you guys where you're at in the conversation so that I can jump on and give you guys any help or any kudos. That would be very helpful. So as you post on social media, if you'll just end your post with hashtag branding webinar, I can find you guys having your conversation. So you are in the right place if you've heard all the buzz around branding and want to see what all the talk is about. You've hit a plateau in your business and want to know how to get yourself to the next level. There's a fire burning inside of you. You know what you want for your business, you just don't know how to connect the dots. And this was the case with me when I first got started. I knew that there was a flame inside of me that I just could not shut up, but I didn't know how to connect all the dots with my talents and my skills, etc. And you're ready to play big and deliver your best self to the world. So a lot of you might be retired or coming out of many years of a career. You're ready for the next step, big step, playing big, delivering your best self. You're in the right place. So who am I? I know you've heard a lot about me, you've seen a lot about me, but I do want to tell you exactly who I am. So my name is Liz Smoke, and I live in that very last southernmost point of Florida, Key Largo. I live in a small key in Key Largo called Tavernier. And I've been here just about 2 years. I absolutely love it. My family is here. I'm actually a native Floridian girl. And I moved to New Mexico for about 5 years and loved the Southwest as well. Actually, I love the Southwest even more so than Florida. But I have a daughter. Her name is Sophia, and that's her there on the right. She's 4 years old, and she'll be 5 in about 2 weeks. So we're really excited. It's a big number for her, of course. And what got me here to being a branding strategist and online consultant is I was living in New Mexico, like I had mentioned, and I was working full-time in the hospitality industry. I was in sales and marketing my entire life. And I was also running two of my own businesses. One was a wedding linens business, and the other was a consultant firm for wineries in the Southwest. So I helped wineries brand themselves and kind of reach into social media. So I was doing that full time, and my significant other, Sophia's father, decided that he wanted to take his career into Silicon Valley. He was a software engineer and was ready for the next step in his career. I, however, did not want to go to California. I didn't think it was the greatest fit for us at the time, and I also had my own dreams of entrepreneurism. So he went off to California, and I decided that I wanted to be closer to family. I really didn't know anybody in New Mexico except for my work colleagues. So I packed everything up and came to Florida. In that process, of course, I was used to being stable and having a paycheck and healthcare, et cetera. So I still wasn't ready to spread my wings out into my own business. So I landed at an incredible country club and resort here, and it was the Millionaire's Playground. It was absolutely beautiful. And it was a godsend, really. It was what I needed to kind of get my feet started and everything kind of stable here in Florida. So I started there on August 1st, and it was a little tough. It was an adjustment. I was back in Florida. I felt like I had kind of taken a step back, so I was dealing with that whole mindset, and I was working 70 hours a week. The holidays, everything. I was coming home late at night. My parents were watching my daughter constantly. So it really was the polar opposite of what I was trying to do with my life. And if someone can just confirm that they can see my slides, that would be great. So we got Kimberly from Vegas. We've got Ocala and Clearwater. Thank you all for joining us. So I started my job on August 1st, and it really wasn't what it cracked up to be, but I knew that I had to put in my time. By August 15th, 2 weeks after arriving and starting my brand new job, I received a call from California saying that my partner and Sophia's father had committed suicide in California. Now, as you can imagine, my life was turned upside down. We were not married. There was no will. So it really took our family and my stability up for grabs. I felt like someone had literally ripped the carpet out from underneath me. I didn't know which way was north, and I was kind of figuring things out day to day. Not to mention that I was extremely unhappy already in my career because I knew that I was way beyond being ready to be an entrepreneur, and I was still working 60, 70 hours a week. So I decided to stick with it. Of course, there was a grieving process, and the time that I used to grieve was my way to work and my way home, and I had to really circle the wagons and see what I was going to do with my life. So I stayed with the company till January, and I decided that that was no way to live. I was working Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, Christmas Day. I never saw my daughter, and I had countless plates with tinfoil wrapped over it at night, and that wasn't my ideal. So come January, we all come to the perspective at that point that we need to change our lives. I walked into the office to a surprise sales meeting, and my boss was talking about our goals and what we were committing to as individuals and as a team. At the end of that meeting, she slid a paper across the desk to each one of us to sign and commit to our goals for the new year. And when she gave me the pen, I said, "I'd like to stick around to the end of the meeting if you don't mind." So I did. And at that moment, I gave her my resignation. Now, she was quite surprised. It had only been about 6 or 7 months that I'd been there. And she asked me where I was going. Of course, everybody thought that I was going somewhere better. But in all honesty, I knew that it wasn't there. I wasn't going anywhere else. I just knew it wasn't going to be there. And that was really the first time that I felt so free and like literally the world had been taken off my back because I now felt that I was in control. The problem was I gave 2 weeks notice. I worked my 2 weeks, and I knew at the end of that Monday would come. I would drop my daughter off at school, and I would be at home on my own in silence, no water cooler chatter, no sales meetings, no colleagues, no coffee breaks. It was just going to be me by myself. And that's a really tough place to be when you're not used to it. So I said to myself, you know what, sink or swim, because I have a 4-year-old boss that's signing my check and I can't let her down. So I started to create my consulting business, which I had already been doing part-time, and do it now full-time and scale it. And it's been the best time of my life. Everybody says I should have done it sooner. I know, and I'm hoping that you, if you're not doing it yet, you also do it sooner. So let's get on to business. So what is branding? A brand, according to Wikipedia, is a name, term, design, or other feature that distinguishes one seller's product from those of others. Seth Godin, who is the greatest marketer of our time, I follow him and some of you may follow him as well. A brand is the set of expectations, memories, stories, and relationships that, taken together, account for a consumer's decision to choose one product or service over another. If the consumer doesn't pay a premium, make a selection, or spread the word, then no brand value exists for that consumer. So in plain English, if your client doesn't pay a premium for his product, doesn't actually buy from you, or spread the word, meaning refer you to someone else, they don't see the value in your brand. Does this make sense so far? Okay. So why you need branding in the first place? Like I mentioned in the first couple slides, there's a lot of buzz around branding, and rightly so. With the noise in social media today and in videos and people having multiple profiles around multiple platforms, it's really hard to stand out from the noise if you're just going to be Jane Doe, okay? So it's not enough to have a great product anymore. Oftentimes, we find that people pay more for a lesser quality product. I'm sure a lot of you deal with that, whether you're selling jewelry or internet service or anything at all. You can't believe how someone would pay more for a lesser quality product than yours. That's because people are often paying for the person, the messaging, the packaging, and the personality behind the product. So you can take one product, but without the personality, the product doesn't sell itself, right? So you need to choose what type of personality are you going to bring your business. Why would someone buy your product when there are so many more like it on the market that are often cheaper? The question to that is, the answer is not the product, it's the brand. It's you. They're buying you. And we've heard this 100 times. But how do we put it into practice? How do I brand myself? So here's a news flash. You already have a brand. You are the brand. The question is it the one you want the world to know? Okay? You already have a brand, but is it really what you want the world to see of you? So here's my equation on how to come up with a brand, how to figure out what your brand already is. Okay? So first we take our education. And I don't mean that it has to be college or that if it wasn't university, it doesn't count. It's your educational experience, whether it was vocational school or high school or university. If it was any type of training, that counts too. We add that to your experience. That's your career experience. And add in your special skills and the stuff you're crazy about, your interests. Could be fitness, whatever, movies, whatever. And that equals your brand. So we're going to put this into some real world formulas here. So we'll take me, for example. My educational background is marketing and fashion. I went to college for a combination of both in Philadelphia. It was a my brief time in very cold weather that I do not want to return to. And my experience throughout my career was always sales, marketing, and small business. Everyone in my family, from great-grandparents all the way down to siblings, always had their own businesses. So I felt like the loser for having a real job for most of my life. Sales and marketing is really my passion. So when I add in my special skills and my interests, public speaking was something that I was trained in and I loved. Design from my days in fashion, and writing. That came together in a company that brands for entrepreneurs. I love designing the brand. I love writing and speaking on their behalf, and of course, the sales and marketing models. So next we have an example of a gentleman with a business background, and he's a firefighter by trade. His love is investments and financial planning. His brand and his niche became financial planning for servicemen. It's actually very successful because any servicemen who are retiring or in police, fire, EMT, Army, Navy, that sort of thing, and they're looking for financial planning after retirement or investments to create a better life for themselves, they trust this gentleman more because he's one of them. Makes sense? So we say the rich is in the niche. The more niche you are, the better off you are, because everyone that you're focused on is going to go to you because you are the leading expert in that field, in that niche. Here's another client of mine. Her background is exercise physiology. That was her educational background. She was a fitness instructor at many levels, even for children. Her passion or her interest and skills were writing and being a mom. So she's created a monetized blog, meaning that she makes money off of her blog for at-home moms. She provides fitness tips, ways to make money from home, recipes, parenting tips. So she loves being a mom and all the things around it. She loves being at home, so she gets to provide this service to other at-home moms looking to also brand themselves and make money from home. Here's another example. So this is another client of mine. He's got a business background. He works in sales for a mobile company. Loves triathlons and weight loss. He was an athlete his entire life from the time he was 9 years old, and he created a brand for him that's weight management mentor for high-performing athletes. So again, you see the niche there. He didn't say weight management mentor and then stopped. He said for high-performing athletes. He only wants to work with the people that are motivated and dedicated to go from plateau to peak. So he took his passions, of which he had no idea was going to be part of his business model, and meld in his products and his services into one coaching program that he offers online. And you're going to see his pictures in a little bit. Okay, so let's give him something to talk about. Your brand makes your social media follow-worthy. And I'll explain that a little more. Your brand ups the value of your content. You're no longer just one more person in the news feed sharing some random thought. Once you've branded yourself with professional photography, a tagline, and a voice, people listen and they read your content because now they're taking you seriously. Does your content speak to the person you're trying to attract? So many times I hear people say to me that they want to attract entrepreneurs, people to buy their product and use their product and obviously evangelize them. But when I go to their social media pages, it's got their home in Colorado under 6 foot of snow. It's got all types of pictures at the gym. So you're not speaking to the entrepreneur. You're not giving them the content that they need in order to stick around with you and get more value from you. Post content people need in their lives. So if you're going to post stuff daily and multiple times a day, make sure that some of those are what people need in their lives. So you can post weight loss pictures. You can post pictures of your kids, your cars, what you did over the weekend, your vacation, and that's all nice. It keeps people up to date with your life. But do they need your news feed? Is your information something that they need, even if they weren't interested in your product? Because you want to build a long-term relationship and a community. Become a resource for cutting-edge content in your field. Now, I know that this is a scary one because everybody's probably saying, well, great, where do I get the cutting-edge content in my field? Once you've identified what your field is and who you want to talk to, okay, that's important, is finding out who your ideal customer is. You're going to use Google Alerts. And I'll put this in the chat roll too. Just Google Alerts. And that, I use it every single day. It's a tool that I adore. You want to put in what your niche is. So let's say the firefighter guy. He can put in the searches for servicemen or financial planning for retired police officers, things of that nature, very specific. And every single day, Google will deliver to your inbox a whole bunch of stories and articles that are based on your search terms. Okay, so they're delivered to you every single morning based on your search terms. You can put in your own name. You can put in your competitors' names. You can put in anything you want. Eating healthy, eating clean, gluten-free, GMO-free, all kinds of different terms. And the stories will come being delivered to you on a daily basis that you can share out to social media. So that is an endless well of content. Okay, pick wisely. Branding is what makes your followers take notice. I bet you if tonight you changed your profile photos to be more professional, you put a tagline on your cover image, people would take notice. You are officially in business. You're hanging your shingle outside and you're saying, I'm open for business. Come and watch me. I've got something to deliver. I know you agree. Okay, so your brand toolbox. This is like basic 101, not complicated stuff, but must have. Number one, professional photos. I don't care if you hire a photographer, if your nephew's a photographer, if you get one from the local college that's an intern or needs a portfolio, if you're trading, find a professional photographer with a professional camera that takes professional photos of you. Now, I'm not talking about suit and tie, okay? I'm talking about a nice background, whether it be outside where you live or if you wait till the springtime, what have you, that shows off your personality. If you're not a suit and tie guy, put on a polo, put on a smile, look approachable, look warm, and have somebody take some really professional, polished pictures of you. And I want you to use those photos everywhere. By the way, I just thought of something. I am going to send out to everybody that was on this call as a free gift, only if you stick around to the end, by the way. If you stick around to the end, you'll get my free ebook. I charge for it on my website on personal branding photo shoots to really get you started. You need to complete your social media profiles. Now, don't think, well, I'm having trouble already managing what I have. I can't do all these social media platforms. All I'm asking you to do is to complete the profiles, because when someone Googles your name to find out if you're the real deal or where your website or your business is, you're going to rank higher because you have completed profiles in these platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I know you all know this, that YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. If you don't have videos on YouTube, you're missing out on reach. And it doesn't have to be brain surgery. If it's a 1-minute motivational message, put it on YouTube. And nothing feels better than going on to Facebook, going on to Instagram and saying, I've just uploaded a brand new video. Come take a look at my library. Okay, so I go into all that into depth. Your email address with your name on it. Now, I know there's a lot of offenders out there because when you registered for this webinar, I saw everybody's email address. So your email address should be your full name. So lisastewart@gmail.com or liz.smoke@gmail.com. It's just more professional, okay? And it begins your branding process. Business cards. Now, is it me or business cards becoming a thing of the past? Which is a great thing, because when you present someone with a polished professional business card, again, they take notice. They know that you're serious. I'm going to show you some examples, okay? And of course, a website. And it should be yourname.com. So lizsmoke.com. You are the brand. Your product, your products, or your library of products is something in your toolbox that you as a resource use and sell. But people are buying you. They want to come to you as a resource. Okay, so let's take a look. Oh, I want you to start with your Facebook profile picture and your cover image. So if you look at your Facebook profile picture right now, and you can't tell who you are because you're so far away or your back is turned, you have some really weird face going on that you're not looking at the camera, or it's the side of your face, or you've cut your ex-boyfriend out of the picture. Let's polish that. Let's start right there, because you're a professional. This doesn't have anything to do with branding. You're a professional. You're trying to get people to buy from you and trust you. You need to start with your own image, okay? So make sure that your photos across your social media profiles are polished, professional, and show your best self. Smile, take the sunglasses off, and be approachable, okay? All right, so these are two examples of business cards. The top one, of course, is my own, and the other side has my personal information, all my social media information. But as you can imagine, when I hand this to someone, that I say I'm a personal branding coach, and they really don't know what that means, and I hand them my card, they listen. They want to know more. And down below is my very good friend, Letty Perez. She went through a major body transformation, lost over 100 pounds, and her tagline is sparkle and shine. And if you know Letty, you know that everything about her is sparkle and shine. And her service to her community is keeping up presentation, looking good, feeling good, makeup, style, hair, the whole package. That no matter where you are in your life, you need to keep up a positive outlook and not drag yourself around like, woe is me. So when we hand people our cards, people know that we are here to show up, and we are confident. And if we're putting this confidence in ourselves, imagine what we can do for our clients. Because what our cards say is, Mr. Client, I can take you from where you are and get you out there and build your confidence so that you can plaster your picture in someone's hand. Can you see that? And I'll show you the resource where I get this to, because it's really, really cheap. But a professional photographer is where it starts. Okay. So I promised you my tech tools. Before we get into tech tools, though, I want to answer some questions because we've got quite a few. So if you have, Tim says, if you have multiple branding profiles that you can bring to market, which one should you focus on first? For example, athletes, stay-at-home moms, weight loss, better energy, and sleep. All right, Tim, thanks for your question. And I'm not so sure that you have to pick just one, because all of these are revenue generating. Where I would say that you kind of trim the fat in general is when your passion starts saying, well, I'm passionate about animal humane or sex trafficking. Those are not necessarily revenue generating, okay? So we want to put those on the side burner, and we'll put those under your philanthropy. But right now we're talking business dollars and cents. So Tim, all the things that you just said are revenue generating consumers, right? You don't necessarily have to pick just one. In my example with Kristen, which you'll see her in a minute, she created a blog that sells her knowledge in all of those areas you mentioned to all of those consumers. So she now becomes a resource for everyone in that area. But you need to define what your brand promise is for those people, okay? What is it that you're going to deliver for those people? And you need to make sure that you're in a market that people can pay for your products, because not all at-home moms have the revenue to be able to pay for the products that are on the market, right? So keep that in mind. Okay. Lynn is in snowy New Hampshire. Oh my. Okay, so my friend Lisa Stewart has a question. I'm considering seeking out a graphic designer to have a logo made for my brand. Any tips before I go down that path? Yes. So I always recommend that your logo should be your name, but in the case that it's not, there are multiple, I'm just going to go back so you can see better slide than that. There are multiple resources where you can get logos designed. One is Fiverr, and that's the number, it's spelled like the number 5 with an extra R, Fiverr.com. Odesk, 99 Designs, and you can just Google these, and Elance. Those are all people that will do logos for you. If you have someone locally that can do it, because you can go back and forth and see different styles that you, but I wouldn't spend too much money nor time on the logo, okay? It doesn't have to be brain science. You just need to start. Oh, hi, Elise made it. Kelly Roberson, thank you. Okay, so Rachel, you're just here to listen and learn. That's fine. If any questions come up, please feel free. Okay, Ormond Beach can hear us loud and clear. Great. Okay, so Anne says she has no experience and my education is only high school. I'm just a stay-at-home mom with no skills. How do I find my brand? Wow, Anne. So that's a loaded question because it doesn't sound very positive. And I know that there's a lot of people on here that would say you're way more than just a stay-at-home mom. So I would say you need to kind of query the people around you, your family, your friends, your neighbors, to say, what is it that's attractive about me? And I don't mean physical. Is it your personality? Is it your humor? Is it your ability to be a great mom and wife or what have you? Is it your cooking? What is it about you that is an interest, sets you apart, okay? That is really where you'd want to start. You need to kind of pull some people together and say, what is it that you would come to me for? And of course, the other half of that, Anne, is what do you want to be known for? You also have a hand in building your own brand. So what is it that you want to be known as? And the sky is the limit. Dream big, like I say, and then multiply it times 5. Okay, so let's keep going here. All right, so tech tools. The tech tools that I use in my business are MailChimp, and that is what I use for my email newsletter marketing. And this is all going to make sense in a little bit, okay? But this is what I use. Many of you have seen emails from me weekly, sometimes monthly, it depends. And MailChimp is what I use. It's very friendly. And you can do an incredible template, again, with your professional photos, or you can do a template that doesn't have anything. So this is what will help you communicate to your community. Excuse me, Google Drive. I swear by Google Drive. And some of you who are in my strategic planning community on Facebook, Planapalooza, know that I am a huge Google Drive fanatic. And that is where, that's the equivalent of Microsoft Office or Pages if you're using a Mac. But all of your document sharing and storage and creation is done online through Google. The tools are super easy, they're safe, and you can access your documents wherever you go and share them with team members extremely easily. The next one that I use on a daily basis is Canva or PicMonkey. All of my graphic design and image editing that you see is all done in Canva. Very small percentage is done in PicMonkey. Again, easy tools. In fact, I'm going to be having a class on both of those that are webinar classes, so look out for those. WordPress is how my website is housed. It's a website template and management system that, again, is super foolproof. I'm not high tech, so I like tools that are easy, that are intuitive, and that just work. So those are them. 1&1 is where I buy all of my domain names and where my website is hosted. So your website has to live somewhere in the cloud, and that is who provides that service. Vistaprint is where I get my business cards and all of my marketing collateral, such as postcards, etc. Now, if you guys have an event planned here in the next couple months where you're going to be attending live, you had better have business cards in your hand and or postcards describing either an event that you're going to be doing, which I hope all of you have a live event in your schedule this year, or some type of a product or showing off your product. Please do not go to an event, any live event, whether it's a networking event or coffee, with nothing in your hands. You are now an entrepreneur, and I know that many of you have not had a business before. This is your first business, and you absolutely must follow the basic steps of being an entrepreneur and having a business of your own, whether you're selling a direct marketing product or truly you invented something that's completely your own. You are now in business, you have something to sell, and you have something to say. So let's do things right, okay? Speaking of doing things right is business and tax bookkeeping. GoDaddy Bookkeeping, again, I swear by them. A lot of people don't know that GoDaddy has an accounting system. It's the same GoDaddy that you get domain names from. Again, Google it. It's $9.95 a month. I paid annually, so I get a discount. And you can import your bank accounts to that, your PayPal account, and it'll really manage your profit and loss statement at the end of the year. Your expenses go in there for taxes, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So great, Hadass has now joined us. I'm super excited. Tim also says, FYI, I'm not pretending to be a stay-at-home mom. My wife and I are in business together. That would be her friend in profile. She wasn't able to make it to the webinar today. Okay, very much. Thank you very much for those tips and help us get started. Absolutely, Tim. Okay, so this beautiful girl is Kristen Max. Speaking of at-home moms, Tim. This is the lady, she's a client of mine, and she is in fitness, is in weight loss, and has created the blog called athomemoms.com. If you go there right now, it's not going to look very nice. We're under rebranding right now, and I hope to be able to share that with you here soon. But this is professional photography, branding photography at its best. By the way, you should only be paying anywhere from $200 to about $600 for a professional photographer to do a branding photo shoot, okay? And you should be getting all the rights to your photos. Don't let anyone say you don't have the rights to your photos or you have to pay me by the photo. Don't let anyone tell you that. Find a new photographer. So now, Kristen Max, she obviously has an ideal client. She does not want to cater to the at-home mom that feels overwhelmed, that feels dejected, that feels out of ideas. She wants to cater to the mom that has made a choice to stay at home with her family, but still be successful from home, productive in her family, and glamorous. You can see that in her pictures, right? So she identified her ideal client first. That's extremely important. And then she created her image and her brand to attract that ideal customer. So she wanted a woman that was at home with her kids and her spouse, but also seeking success and not feeling overwhelmed. You kind of get that from her pictures here, right? Okay. Next, we've got Eddie Carvalho. He's also a client of mine, and Eddie is the one that we talked about earlier who had no idea what his business would be. He had products and he had passions, but he didn't know how to connect the dots. So when we talked about what his passion was, and my typical question is, what is it that you can talk about all day long, even if you weren't getting paid? And immediately he jumped out and said triathlons. He loves running. He's an athlete at heart. And because of his immense weight loss and energy management, he's really been able to excel in his triathlon career. Of course, if many of you are in the racing community, you know that these are tight-knit communities that rely on one another. Their trust is built quite quickly. So it was perfect for him. Again, professional photographer. I think he had someone who specialized in athletes who photographed him, and it came out spectacular. So you could actually go to his website and see everything that we did for him at eddiecarvalho.com. Okay? Now here are some other examples. The top one is a colleague of mine, Silva Harapetian. She's a former CBS reporter. Now she's a coach, a media specialist, and she teaches brands and companies how to get the media attention, how to get into the media. So her program is called Turn Up the Volume, Claim Your Place in the Spotlight, Get the Media Attention Your Business Deserves. This bottom gentleman here is Ron Allen. He is only 18 years old, believe it or not, and he is an MMA fighter. Entrepreneurial blood, but has a passion for MMA fighting. So we had to figure out how to make that profitable, right? He wanted to teach strength and defense for the profit side, but he knew that his ideal client was athletes. He knew that he only wanted to work with people that had the intense motivation and skill, really, to stick with his strength and defense course. Of course, he charges for that course, and he teaches it for young athletes, meaning teenage athletes, adult athletes, and retired athletes. So again, here you see an ideal customer that Ron has identified. He only wants to work with that niche. So when you create a niche for yourself, like high-performing athletes, they know when they come to your website or your social media page that you are for them. They are looking for you. You are looking for them. You're not working with everyone who will listen. You're not working with everyone with $1. You only focus on your ideal clients. It's no different than being the big fish in the small pond or shooting fish in a barrel. Both of those are what niche is all about. Okay, so here we got a couple other ladies. These were taken in my backyard, by the way. This is during a live retreat that I do annually here in the Keys. And the above is Elliot. Now, Elliot is a real estate paralegal who came to me having no clue what her brand would be. Now, one would assume that it would be something having to do with real estate or law. However, when I went around the room and asked her what she felt she did really well and why people came to her, she said to me, you know, Liz, it seems like I'm always getting asked for relationship advice. I said, okay, well, why do you think that is? She says, well, when I'm in a relationship and I see the red flags, it's easy for me to cut it off and move forward. Now, ladies, we know the truth. It's not easy for everybody. I wish it was easier for me, right? So we decided to brand her as a relationship expert. Excuse me, I'm grabbing a sip of water. As a relationship expert. She also had products that were weight loss and energy management as well. So she wanted to fold that in, and we did it very nicely. Her tagline, as you can see, is feed your soul and find your soulmate. Because a lot of what she teaches is not only recognizing red flags, but how to be your best self so that you attract someone else's best. How to have your best health, your best presentation, how to have high energy, be alert and awake when you meet that soulmate, right? And not be shuffling around, dragging your feet. So set your love life ablaze, feed your soul and find your soulmate was the brand that was birthed from her. Now, I want to say that this next example, her name is Janet, and I want to say that this might apply to Anne. This lady married her high school sweetheart, has 3 incredibly gorgeous kids. One is already going off to college, if you can even believe it. She's 40 years old. The problem here is after she got married, she dedicated her life to her children, her family, and her spouse. So she stepped out of the corporate work field and became a stay-at-home mom. Now, of course, she loves her journey, but now her kids are slowly leaving the nest. She's now 40 years old, and she felt that she had lost her identity, kind of like what Anne said, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. So she felt that there were a lot of women like her feeling the same way. And she wanted to coach those women on how to reignite their identity and how to find their inner self. So her tagline became Rewrite Your Happy Ending from Selfless to Self-Love, Finding Your Identity and Start Living Again. Nice, right? Okay, so here's let's see if we have some more examples here. Okay, so this is Marty. Marty lives in Germany, and this was very interesting because she has a product that she could not sell in Germany because of the business and product and consumer laws in Germany. So she had to build a brand and an online presence really fast. We created a logo for her. Her passion is cooking, clean eating, clean cooking, and she has a very traditional Mexican flair in most of her cooking. So we created a brand. She hired a local photographer to take her into the markets, and this is her kitchen here, and begin to brand her as someone who understands clean eating, who has traditional, easy to make meals that are nutritional, because she had to create a global marketplace for herself that was outside of Germany. So Live Smart with Marty was born, and this is her presence right here. She also does how-to videos on how to clean jalapeno poppers, all kinds of things. As you can see on the bottom left, how to core an apple, how to peel an apple. So she also has a lot of great videos on her website as well. So one of the big things is building your tribe. How do you get people to follow you to eventually purchase from you? And it's all about community, right? If you think about your idols in your current business now, the people you look up to, the people that are in the magazines, business people, millionaires, that sort of thing, they all have an incredible following, including yourself, right? So again, Wikipedia says that community is a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. Again, my favorite, Seth Godin, he calls community a tribe. A tribe is a group of people connected to one another, connected to their leader, and connected to an idea. For millions of years, human beings have been part of one tribe or another. A group needs only two things to be a tribe: a shared interest and a way to communicate. Notice that neither one of these said a product to buy, a sales pitch, right? Community and fellowship, sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. Not selling, no products. However, organizing an audience is the first step in cultivating raving fans who eventually become your customers. Now, the last line in the Seth Godin quote there says, a way to communicate. Now, we all have that, right? We've got social media, which is the best communication platform in the world. We've got email newsletter marketing, which I know that you all are going to start using very soon. And of course, the traditional methods of face-to-face and phone call and email. So, building your tribe starts with polling your community to determine a common struggle that you can moderate. And some of you might already know this. So, for example, I have a group on strategic business planning. There are a lot of people that I recognized, entrepreneurs, that struggled with creating a plan for the year ahead and sticking to it. So I created a group that was solely focused on planning for entrepreneurs. So that's an example of finding a common struggle that you can moderate. So you might have some interest or experience around the topic. You want to create a group around the topic and provide insanely valuable and free information to those people so that they build trust in you. This will become your community. 2, create a Facebook group as a platform for the community. Be generous with your knowledge and your content. This doesn't mean sell everybody, tell them to buy your products, This means to be generous with what you know. Give it away for free. Think again about the people that you follow. It's because they offer you information that you can use that betters your life, your family, and your business, and they give it to you for free. Okay, so be generous and genuine. And lastly, learn the needs and wants of all they are telling you. So understand what they want. And again, be generous with giving them what they need from you. If you use that alone as your strategy for posting on social media, I guarantee you, you're going to be a lot more successful. You're going to hold a lot more eyeballs onto your social media news feed. Because we all know that early in the morning, say 7 o'clock in the morning, everybody's sitting on the potty with their phone scrolling through the news feed. Are they stopping on you? Are they looking for you? Or are they just scrolling on through? Because you've been posting the same thing for the past 3 years. Okay? Okay, capturing every customer. Now, this is the reason why a website is necessary. Because now we've built a community. They're following us, they're liking us, they're sharing our content. They come back to us every other day or so. Where do we send them next? What's the next step for a community member? They want to work with you. They want to be closer to you. You send them to your website. When they get to your website, how do you capture them? So I'm sure all of you have seen a similar example to this. This is called an opt-in, meaning you opt in for the free Power Life Planner by giving your email address. Okay? When you give Susan Sly your email address, that gives her the opportunity to communicate with you via email marketing system, right? The MailChimp system. So your website will have one of these giving away some incredible, valuable piece of information that fits your ideal market. Okay? I'm going to give you some more examples of what this looks like. And if you have any questions, please remember that you can ask me. I'm watching live. Here's another one. Great, fun picture, right? Get access to my free guide. I know what to do, but I'm just not doing it. So you can stop waiting. Finally have a life and body you adore. So this is another opt-in. You put in your information, you get her free guide. She is now communicating with you on a weekly, monthly basis, and you are now part of her tribe. Smoothie. And fell in love with it. I'd never had a green smoothie in my life. So once they put in their information, here's what the downloadables typically look like.
It's 2 o'clock.
So this is Marty's downloadable nutrition meal plan. And over here, we have the Ultimate Ironman Packing Guide. So those are 2 downloadables that are highly valuable for the consumer that's on the page. Now, your branding roadmap is here, okay? All the tips that I've given you to this point are part of a greater roadmap. It's obviously a lot more convoluted than just something that someone can just show you in one webinar. So before we get into this, I want to answer a couple more questions. Elise says, how does one-on-one web hosting compare to GoDaddy? One-on-one I use for everything because they're cheaper. Their hosting is very, very easy. And number one reason is their customer support is impeccable. You can call them at any time and they will do it for you and help you through everything. So GoDaddy is still very strong. I just use one-on-one because they're cheaper. And Tim says, so if we already have a Facebook account and profile, but it's not a business profile, should we create a fan page to build our brand and then start aligning our personal Facebook account with that friend, or should we retool our current personal Facebook account? with that then apply to all of our social media profiles. So the biggest reason to have a fan page is if you're going to go into Facebook advertising, which eventually you'll want to get there. If you're doing webinars and things like that to provide value, that's how you reach brand new people that you don't speak to. You can only do advertisement through a fan page. Profiles, I know, are very popular because everybody reads them and sees them. So there are two different consumers. People that like your fan page may not necessarily want to know anything about your personal life. They only want to know about your business life. So that's where the separation lies. You can do both. You can do either or. A lot of people also like to have their timeline profile private because they don't like to share their private life with business colleagues. So the only real benefit to having a fan page is Facebook advertising. So the branding roadmap, it's called Be the Brand Academy. And this is a course that I teach that's complete 8-week course that's delivered right to your inbox. It's all video fed. There are 8 live Q&A calls with me. There's a private members only area and student lounge. So once you become a member, you hang out in the lounge and the members only area with all types of other entrepreneurs doing exactly what you're doing, who may already have established businesses that you can kind of get inspiration from and motivation from. There are more than 20 how-to implementation videos. So it's me teaching you exactly what you need to do on your Facebook pages, your Instagram, Pinterest, how to set up your website, how to set up your MailChimp newsletter template, all of the stuff that you need. I show you exactly how to do it in a step-by-step video. I also have an incredible library. Some of you already know this from being in my communities of templates and resource sheets that I give everyone that you can just literally steal or swipe and use for your emails, for your social media posts. If you get into Facebook advertising, all of the templates you'll ever need in order to run your business from day to day will be there. And the best part is you get lifetime access to all the updates and the news releases, the new releases that I do to the course. This is an annual course only, and every year we'll have new teachers inside of it and new modules, so you will always have access to those improvements as the years pass. And if for some reason it takes you a little longer than most people to get through, you always have access to go back and review. So those are the 8 modules there, which I'm going to go through right now. The first module is your unique value proposition. And these are also the steps that you want to go through in building or rebranding your business. So as we mentioned before, your unique value proposition is your brand, your education, your skills, and your passion. And if you're like Anne and you don't have necessary education or skills, you have a passion, you have experience that is marketable, that people will pay for. So how do you determine what makes you unique? We go through a huge exercise on how to determine what it is exactly that makes you unique. Someone had a question earlier of multiple passions. That was Tim. So we go through how to roll all your passions into one profitable business. Because if you've spoken to me over the phone one-on-one, I do have a knack of taking everything that you are experienced or educated in, rolling them into your interests and passions, and creating a business model around it. Are you communicating the tangible value of working with you, your services, and your products? So ask yourself that right now. If most of you are using social media only to market yourselves, do you feel that you're communicating your tangible value of working with you? Does someone know why to choose you over the guy next to you that's selling the same product? Okay. And we go through changing your mindset from salesperson to CEO. Right now, many of you are just selling a product. We need to change that from salesperson to CEO of your own business so that you can create a lasting business that is a legacy for your family. So module number 2 is your position in the market, carving out a niche that's all your own. Remember I said earlier, the rich is in the niche. The more niche you are, the more success you're going to see. I had a client who was a librarian, and she loved being a librarian, but after she retired, she didn't want to work outside of her home anymore. She wanted to travel and be with her grandkids. She created library class schedules for schools and for other librarians and teachers. The very first time she launched her course, or her cheat sheets, I should say, there were more cheat sheets than a course, lesson plans, she made $68,000 in selling her knowledge, and all they were documents, PDFs, with lesson plans that were specific for school librarians. The reason why the rich is in the niche is because if you are a school librarian looking for resources on the internet, you're probably not going to find anything. But you'll find her. And you'll continue to be a client of hers for life. So, establishing a unique voice for who you are and what you offer. Learning how to create a big fish, small pond business, right? Where everybody wants you. Find your starting point by assessing the strength of your current brand and your communications. So I will take what you're doing right now and figure out where it can be tweaked to really drive it home. Module number 3 is your ideal target audience. We talked a little bit about this. How to communicate clearly and directly to each target audience. Are you communicating in a way that resonates and is relevant to your audience? So we will teach you how to communicate, the words to say, the templates to use in your post that will resonate and that will be relevant content to your audience. Where to find hordes of your ideal client that are already predisposed to buy from you. How to speak the language that attracts your ideal clients like a magnet. Module number 4 is your offering. Creating high-dollar services to support your current products. Uncovering the knowledge you have that people will actually pay for, like the librarian. Developing your business model and define where your profits will come from. And changing your mindset, again, from that salesperson to the CEO. So there's lots of exercises that will take you out of the salesperson mindset and into a more driving CEO. Module number 5 is your brand toolbox. We go through all your brand assets, your domain names, any copyrights that you might need, your taglines, and all of your video and marketing collateral. Your website is your 24-hour sales force, and that is why it is imperative to have one. Creating a unique tagline that grabs your customers. So again, if you've worked with me, you know that I've got a knack for really cool taglines, and how to deliver content that will have them hanging on your every word. You'll also receive the ultimate checklist of everything you must have to launch the brand of your dreams. So again, when I said this is roadmap, it covers it all. Module number 6, creating your visual identity online. Your look, your feel, your colors, and personality of your brand. Learn how to create a voice for your brand. How to create show-stopping visuals that sell. So we're going to take your photographs, your images, and create incredible visuals that people will just be gobbling up. You've seen them and you know which ones I'm talking about. Why showing off your personality is the real secret to success and how to do it right. So we're going to dig into your best attributes of who you are and why people love you and make them work for you. Module 7 is creating raving fans, list building, and cultivating loyal, eager buyers. How exactly do you create your own community of raving fans? I take you step by step. I give you tons of topics that you can create communities around. We go into email newsletter marketing, setting up your templates, and what to say. Staging your big brand launch that puts you on the map. So we don't want to do this kind of piecemeal. We want people to see you and know that you've arrived. And we're going to teach you how to keep your prospect pipeline overflowing on a daily basis. The last module, these all come to you by video, is Scale and Duplicate. It's the perpetual income and lead machine. So I teach you how to deliver webinars and add mega value to your community and dollars to your bank account. I'm going to teach you the automation that does the selling and the hard work for you. This is not you living and dying behind a computer or living and dying within Facebook. We want to teach you the automation that helps you go on vacation and rest more while your business continues to run. I'm going to teach you the ways to keep your company growing without the extra effort. And I'm going to help you ditch the one-to-one mentality for one-on-many. So, you ready to become a Branding Academy member? Let's recap. It's 8 business building modules that show you how to build a profitable brand and community that loves you. Multiple done-for-you templates for posting, opt-ins, your bio, and a whole lot more. You'll receive access to the ultimate group of collaborators and experts to help you gain traction fast. Quality recorded step-by-step videos showing the tools to make your business run with ease, and 24/7 lifetime access to the members area, watching the videos as often as you'd like. You have access to all of that for life. So of course you're asking, how much will this cost you? Now I know, because I've been here before, you've already spent tons of time trying to figure out how to do it on your own, and tons of time wishing someone would just tell you what to do and how to do it. Your time is money, and unfortunately, your mistakes are going to cost you. So this is what I want you to ask yourself. What have been the consequences of your inaction thus far? Because you haven't made an investment prior to this, what have been those consequences? Have you lost time? Have you lost opportunities, leads? What opportunities will you miss out on this time? So when you think about your 2015 goals, where will you fall short of those goals if you don't do something different this time? What are the skills you need to acquire now to meet the goals you didn't reach last year? Okay, so if you think about last year's goals and where you fell in terms of your success, what is it that you need to gain this year in order to make the leap into your new 2015 goals and major success? So I want to add some bonuses here too for you. I'm going to be adding in the social media prospecting module, which is a secrets to social media and prospecting that I use in my own business. And I've also included a free daily planning guide I use daily for my pipeline. There's the business systems and taxes module, where you'll learn the business systems and legal steps and tax tips you must know to upgrade your business to an automated sales machine. Remember my colleague Silva Harapetian? She has signed on to teach you on the steps to get your business in the media with already done for you media pitches that you can use. And you'll receive a VIP ticket to my live event in February here in Miami called Trust Before Transaction. That event is on a Friday night in February, and I teach the attendees there how to build the relationships with people before asking for the transaction. This ensures almost a foolproof buy-in from your prospective customer and someone who trusts you and refers more business to you. So you'll finally get clarity on your brand once and for all. I know it's something you're struggling with. You'll attract more customers, expand your market globally, be the go-to resource for your industry, community, and the media, increase your subscribers and your income. So your investment today is $1,497 or $129 a month for 12 months. Now, I want to add that this is the first time I allow a 12-month plan is during this webinar. It's typically a 6-month plan, which is about $260 a month. So during this webinar only, it's 12 months, $129 per month. So you can start on this course for just $129, get all 8 video modules plus the 3 bonus modules and a live VIP ticket to the event Trust Before Transaction. Lifetime access to these courses, 8 live coaching calls with me, all the ready-made templates and the library of how-to videos, access to the private student lounge of your peers and brand instructors. Getting started all for just $129. So a couple things that I want to end with is that the cart for this course closes February 15th. The website to go to is lizsmoke.com/BTBA for Be the Brand Academy. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you've started the course and you find that it's not for you, I will refund your money, given that you have completed the sheets and worksheets that I provide in the course. And I'm also giving you my phone number and email address. Please, if you have any questions, please feel free to call me. There's my phone number, 305-394-5950, or email me at the email address below if you have any questions on the course itself and what you need to do to register. So if you go to my website at lizsmoke.com/BTBA, you'll go to Work With Me and Be the Brand Academy. And there are 2 options there. So let's see if we can go there right now. So this is my website, lizsmoke.com. If you go down to Work With Me, Work with Liz, and then scroll over to Be the Brand Academy right there down at the bottom, click on that. And that'll take you to the same link, which is BTBA. So this is where it describes the course, and you can scroll all the way down, forget that for a moment, and see 2 different buttons here. This first one is if you would like to pay in full, the $14.97, and enroll in the course, or if you would like the 12 installments of $129 each, you would choose this one and enroll today. So it looks like we have a couple more questions. When does the course begin? The course begins March 2nd for a full 8 weeks. And you receive videos from me, just similar to what you did today, into your inbox, and it takes you through every step you need to not only building a brand, but building an online business that is scalable and repeatable. So we have another question from Jennifer in Oklahoma. And she says, how long does she have to make a decision? Well, Jennifer, the enrollment of the course closes on February 15th. And you'll be able to make the purchase here on this website before February 15th, before the cart closes. All right, there's another question about the private student lounge. Is there access to other students with the same information? Yes, so all of the students who are in the course will belong to the private student lounge. And my instructors and experts also hang out in there, as well as myself. And we answer any questions on a daily basis. A lot of collaboration happens in there. So you'll definitely want to shoot any more questions to my email address or my phone number, and I'd be happy to go through all of that with you. For those of you who stuck around to the end, I'll be emailing out my personal brand photo shoot ebook that will help you in all of your photo shoots. So I really appreciate your time here. I've had a lot of fun explaining this to you, and I will see you back in the Facebook groups, whether it be my personal branding or my strategic planning groups. And I will answer any questions that you have there as well. Thank you so much for sticking with me. It looks like our time is just about up. So if there are no more questions, and it doesn't look like there are, I'm just checking here. Okay, it looks like we've got all of the questions asked. Thank you again so much for your time. I truly appreciate it, and I can't wait to hear all of the ideas that have come to mind out of this webinar. Thanks again, and all of you, please have a great day and a wonderful week. I'll see you soon.